Hola mi amigo, Señor Demondriver here. Let's say you're walking down the street and a madman walks up to you with a handgun, puts it to your head and says, my friend, you have 1 hour to build me an RC airplane. But basically, you're out of luck because you're going to die. But if you're lucky, you might be able to do it. With a couple of scraps of Depron sitting around, some balsa wood, a couple of pieces of aluminum, maybe some carbon fiber, maybe some epoxy. If you're really lucky, you might be able to build an RC airplane. The card model way. The card model way. A simple, quick way to build an RC airplane. Very quick, very down and dirty, quick. The way that guy, Roger, the great card model master Roger, W747 in Alaska, builds his beautiful planes. That other guy, card model master who lives in Arizona, first name Michael or Miguel, flies forever in Mexico. Mike Garcia Ortega, it was good. But the fact is, I'm going to show you the secrets of how he builds an airplane. I'm going to show you, me, Demondriver, I'm going to show you the secrets. You and me together are going to quickly learn how to build a quick and easy RC airplane that you can build anywhere with simple tools. Rulers, a couple of pens, some knives, a little bit of, tape, maybe some foam safe CA. We're going to get down to business. This is Demondriver, and this is how to build a quick, easy airliner. Let's go, come on, let's do this.
He's a graduate from the old school of hard knocks, the sly fox, a carbon copy of his father. If you didn't like his pop, don't bother. Some of us think these qualities are grim, to be just like the one before him. Yeah, he's a chip off the old block, just like.
Alright, this is Demondriver here, and let's get down to business. And this is how we're going to make a quick and easy Depron model, card model airplane. And what is the subject for today? We're going to make a British Aerospace Jetstream 1. Small British turboprop from the late 60s, early 70s. That's what we're going to build. Print it out like that. Make sure you got plenty of Depron, 2mm, 3mm. You can use different foams and stuff like that. It really doesn't matter. Now, I'm going to show you a quick way how to break this down and scale out your airplane. Now, we want to make an airplane that is, let's say, 20 inches long. Okay, that is a small airplane, but it is an effective way to do things. Now, what we do is we mark off on the fuselage, we scale the plane down, we scale it down, right? The nose is 1 inch, tail 20 inches, okay? Now, we go ahead and we just quickly, down and dirty, fold it over, right? That's our 10-inch mark. Right there. That's our 10-inch mark. Cut the fuselage in half. Right? Now, we want to know what the wingspan is. And we can start to get an idea for that. Get your caliper out. This caliper's a little bit too small, it doesn't matter. Get your ruler out and start to mark things off. On this ruler, the wingspan on this piece of paper is a little bit beyond 6 inches. 6 inches and a quarter. So that means that this wingspan is greater than the fuselage of the Jetstream. So, we keep breaking things down. What we do is we then go to this. Go to the wing and use that as a reference. So we say that the fuselage is 20 inches long. 20 inches long. The wing goes beyond that point substantially. 6 inches and a quarter. So, we break this down again. Take the tail section and fold it into the midpoint, like so. Fold it back again, and that is 15 inches. Fold the nose over, the midsection back to the front of the nose. That's 5 inches. Okay, now we're starting to get down to business here. We're starting to find out how big the airplane is. So we take our caliper and we say to ourselves that the wing is 6 1/4 inches, and it's basically an inch longer than the fuselage, roughly, on this piece of paper. That means it's roughly 3 1/2 inches, let's say 3 inches longer than the fuselage, right? 23 inches. That's your fuselage, right? Okay. What's the width of the fuselage? Well, take your caliper. It's about 2 1/2 inches. Now, here's a quick, easy way to start the build. This is how we're going to jump into this quick, fast. Remember, there's a guy with a gun to our heads. He's going to blow our brains out if we don't build this. Alright, here's how we do it. Now, we know that on this plane, this Gulfstream, the fuselage doesn't start to taper in, and we know that the tail ends right at about the end of the stabilizer. Right? Okay, the halfway point is at the 4th window at the rear. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the halfway point right there. 1 inches, 20 inches, 10 inches. Okay. And the fuselage starts to curve in at the 5-inch mark. And the tail starts to curve in maybe at the 12-inch mark. So what we do is we get a piece of Depron. This is going to be the backbone. We're going to make one big backbone right here, right now. How do we do it? Okay, first thing we do, take a line and we mark off 20 inches. Right? 20 inches. Draw a line. Nose. Well, let's do it backwards. Nose, tail. Okay? Now, along the 20 inches, we mark off 5 inches, 10 inches, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. We're creating a map on the Depron. The Depron is becoming the plans. Now, we are going to assume that the fuselage width is 2 1/2 inches. Now, very quickly, get a round can, something round. This is going to make our bulkheads. Now, this can is about 3 inches in width. Well, that's okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to mark off 1 1/2 inches, and we're going to make the fuselage 3 inches wide. Take our ruler, mark it off. 3 inches wide. 3 inches wide. There you go. 3 inches. Real easy. Come in again. Like that. Alright? Come in, boom. This is the exterior of the fuselage. This is the outer lines of the fuselage of the Gulfstream. Boom. That's what we're drawing right now. Here's the nose, here's the tail. Okay, so we said that the nose starts at about the 5-inch mark, is where it curves in, comes in. So, we just freehand it, or if you don't want to freehand it, just take your French curves, your stencils, and just curve in. There you go. Make your nose. Boom. That's simple. Now, we want to do the same thing with the tail. Same thing with the tail. Tail starts at about the 12-inch mark. Take our ruler. Take our ruler. 12-inch mark. Mark it. That's where the tail begins. Boom. Boom. Just like that. Now, we want to mark off where the wing starts. Where does the wing start on the Gulfstream? Go back to your piece of paper. 1 inch, 5 inches, 10 inches. So we know that the leading edge of the wing starts at, well, pretty much well beyond the halfway mark, well before it. So you get your caliper again, or get a ruler, and basically measure out where your 10-inch, where the 10-inch mark is and where the wing starts. Again, I would say the wing starts at about 2¼ inches. 2¼ inches before the 10. Right? 2¼ inches. Boom, right there. Mark it. Write it down. Wing start. WS, wing starts. Where does the wing end? We measure it real quick. Make a measurement. Bam, get your caliper. Get one of these. You need it. Mark it. That's the depth of the wing. That is the length of the wing, the chord of the wing, as it meets the fuselage. Mark it off again. It's close to 5 inches. I'm going to say it's 3.75 inches. 3.75 inches. 1, 2, 3.75 inches. Okay. WS, wing stops. That's where the wing stops. Okay. So you're marking this off. You're marking this off. And we're getting a map for the airplane right now. We're mapping the airplane down and dirty. Down and dirty. Okay. Now, we want to determine the stabilizer. How long is the stabilizer? How wide is it? Okay. Get your caliper again. Mark it off. Take your caliper. 10 inches exactly. Stabilizer is 10 inches exactly. Okay. Rudder. Tail. How tall is the tail? We're going to find out right now. It is, let's say, 6 inches. 6 inches high. Now, we've determined all this. Where does the tail start? Where does it start? I would say it starts at about the 13.5 mark. Get the ruler. 13.5. Write that down. Tail starts. Write it down in your plan. Tail starts at 13.50. That's where your tail starts. Where does your stabilizer start? Again, take your caliper. 2.5 minus the 20. So that means that the stabilizer starts at 17.50. 17.5. That's where your stabilizer starts. Write it down. 17.50. Stab starts. Boom. Goes right back to the tail. Alright, now, down and dirty. We're going quick. We're moving. We're not wasting time. We're building. And like an idiot, I don't have a razor here. So, that was pretty bad of me. It's pretty stupid. Because I didn't have a razor hand. So, real quickly, I'm going to grab a razor. And I'm going to stick it in here, in this razor. Oh boy, that was not cool. Matter of fact, let's get a new razor. There we go. Got a fresh razor right here. Oh, the stupidity, the stupidity. I'm telling you, I don't know how this happens. You know, building an airplane and then boom. You know, it's just, it's just craziness. This is bonkers. Okay, get your razor. And we're going to freehand this section right out. There we go. We're going to freehand it right out of the deck run. Always cut carefully. Watch your fingers. You don't want to cut off one of your fingers. So, all right, we're freehanding it. We're freehanding this sucker. Right now, right here. Boom. Try and do the best you can. Stay on the line. Okay, now, take your ruler, aluminum ruler, metal ruler, whatever. Cut your straight line. Boom. Cut your straight line. Boom. Okay. This is the backbone. There you are. Look at that. And it's marked. It's got stuff on it. This is cool. This is great. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to make the fuselage bulkheads. Now, this is inches. Unfortunately, it's 2.5 inches, and this is a little bit, that's too small. Okay, so let's find something. This is good, because this is a down and dirty way of finding a solution when it happens, when you have a problem right in your face. No, that's too small. So we got to find a cheap, quick, easy way of making bulkheads, circles, and making them quick, making them easy. We don't want to take a lot of time here. Remember, this is all being done quickly. We want to move. We want to move to the groove. So we got to make fuselage cross sections here. We can't goof around. All right, I got a perfect solution right here. Here we go. Take an old spackle can, right? All right, take the old spackle can. Now we're just gonna press this sucker right down into the. There we go. And we'll press that sucker right in there. There we go. Look at that. Now, all right. Let's take your pen, run it around like that. There you go, getting some bulkheads here. Getting some bulkheads. Alright. Now, easiest thing to do is pick an airplane with a perfectly circular fuselage cross section. That's the easy part. Now, let's make the wings real quick. Matter of fact, let's make the elevator real fast while we're doing this, while we're rocking. Okay, what's a material that's cheap and easy to find? Dollar Tree foam. Look at this. Ah, Dollar Tree foam. Right here. Boom. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to quickly make a stabilizer. That's right. So, we don't want to be messing around with this big chunk of foam, so what are we going to do? We know the stabilizer is small, so we're going to cut, again, carefully, cut a chunk of this away. There we go. We're going to use this piece right here. And we're going to cut out the stabilizer. And then we'll cut it later, and you put your little paper hinges in there. Okay, we know that the stabilizer is 10 inches long, and we know that it is 2.5 inches deep. Okay, so here we go. Mark off 10 inches. Mark off 10 inches. Here we go. Pen. Where's my pen? Where's my pen, man? Here we go. I get pens all over the place, thank God. Okay, 10 inches. That's your midpoint, is your 5 inches. And we want it to be 2.5 inches deep. So there we go, there's our center section. And what we do is we take our plan. This is a quick tip right here. This is a quick tip right here. Take this like that. Take your ruler, take your plan, put it over your piece of foam. Match the ruler to the angle of sweep of the stabilizer. Pull. Now, this is the hard part. This is where things get tricky. Matter of fact, use a longer ruler. That's the trick right there. Use a longer ruler so that you can pull the piece of paper out. Nope, that ain't gonna work. A longer ruler. God almighty. There we go. I'm saying longer ruler and I'm pulling out these little... Okay. Hold it down. Pull that out. There's your angle. Boom. Alright? There's your angle. We'll do the same thing. Matter of fact, we don't have to. Just go like this. Mark where the 20 is, or the 10 is. 10 inches, 1 inches, 5 inches. Go across best you can. And that's how we're going to match our angle again. Right? Now, it's basically symmetrical, or it's pretty much the angle, the leading edge of the stabilizer is virtually the same as the trailing edge. Boom. And boom. Okay, there we are. Let's cut the elevator into the stabilizer. Here you can be generous. There you go. That's a good point. Now let's cut this sucker out right now. Here we go. We're cutting out a stabilizer. Okay, here we go. Watch this. Boom. Very careful. Cut that out. Very carefully. Cut that out. Again, very carefully. Cut that out. Again, very carefully. Cut that out. There's your stabilizer. Okay? Look at what we got here. Stabilizer. Be up here. Now, we're rocking. Stick with me. Okay. Now, this is important. This is important what I'm about to show you. I haven't done this in years. Actually, I started with foam in the late 90s. Everything before that, from the age of 9 all the way through into my 20s, I just built from balsa cardboard and plywood. I did the old-fashioned way. But in the late 90s, I bought a whole bunch of stuff from a guy who was getting out of the hobby when I used to live in Pennsylvania. And he sold me a ton of stuff. A ton of RC junk. And in that grab bag was a bunch of Depron. And this is in the late 90s, and this is when Depron was kind of just in Europe. And he went to Europe and brought some back. I think it was in Switzerland, if I'm not mistaken. I got a chance to mess with Depron. Now, take our bulkhead, place it down. We're going to make the profile of the airplane. We're going to make the side profile. Now, mark it off again. It's easy. You mark it off. 20 inches. 1, 20, halfway point, 10, 5, 15. Take your bottom bulkhead, lay it down. Alright? Lay it down. We're going to match everything. Pretty much. But I'll show you how we're going to change things at the same time. Now the tail section of the Gulfstream is symmetrical. From the top, the bottom, and the sides. It's basically symmetrical. And I just goofed up. I didn't want to do that. Let's move things down a bit because I'm going to show you a trick. I'm rusty at this. I haven't done this in a while. Roll this around. Okay. Why slightly, Mo? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead. There's a 20. 1. Boom. 15. 10. 5. Okay. Take your backbone. And here we go. So we're drawing in a side profile, but not quite. I'm going to show you a trick. Now what happens is the nose section's different because it's not like the front. This is where we hand draw the sucker. 5 inches we know the nose, the actual flight deck starts. And this is where the windscreen, forward windscreen. And the nose on the Gulfstream is weird because it's one of those low slung noses like that. And we just hand draw the sucker right into it like that. There we are, just like that, right? Boom. There we are. Now what we do is we know that the tail starts at 13.5. Really quickly, 13.5 is where the tail starts. Boom. So what do? We start drawing the tail. Now we know that the tail is 6 inches high, right? 6 inches high from the bottom up to the tail. Take out your ruler again. And you know it's 6 inches high, right? That's the height of the tail. Now, we go crazy here. We're going like gangbusters here. We're going nuts. Okay, here we go. Do the trick again. Take your ruler and match the angle on the plans. Then, quickly, pull a piece of paper out. Now let's match that angle. Boom, there we go. You match the angle. Okay. Alright, it starts to slope up at a certain point, and let's match the angle again. Take your piece of paper, place it down, and let's match that angle. There we are, matched. Pull out your piece of paper. There we are. It's not perfect. It's a little sloppy. Did I goof that up? Let me see here. And trust me, you will make mistakes sometimes. Okay, wait a minute. 3.5 inches, so yeah, that's about right. I just started that back. I need to. There we go. Now we're cooking with vinegar. I simply had the rudder too far forward. Okay, so we place the tail right about there. Now here's the trick. Here's the trick. Pay attention. Watch this. We're gonna cut this sucker out. When? Right now. Get your ruler. Get your razor, wherever the hell it went. Here we go. Get your razor. We're going to cut out the profile. But before we do that, hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. Remember what I told you. Remember what I told you. Wing starts. Let's map out the wing. Wing starts here. Wing ends there. And the stabilizer starts there. Got to move that up a bit. Okay, good. We got our wing marked. Draw the airfoil into the fuselage. Let's draw. Okay. Okay, here we go. There we are. Cut that. And we're going to come down along the contour of the lower fuselage. Boom. We're going to cut and follow. There we are. We're going to come up there. Okay, we're going to start to cut out the nose section. Here we go. There we are. And cut out the lower nose section. Very gently, very easily. Okay, now watch. Let me show you a trick. Let me show you a demon trick. The ruler makes life a lot easier. Okay, let's hope to pop this sucker out. There we are. Look at this. Okay, watch. Okay, what do we do? Watch this. This is where things get real cool. Oh man, stop that. Okay, watch. We're going to cut the fuselage directly in half down the center line. Why? I'm going to show you. Right down the center line. Boom! Look at that. Look what just happened. Pac-Man airplane. Okay, come on, watch. Look. See? Do you see? Take the half of the fuselage and then we're just going to attach it just like that. Right to there. Is that cool or what? Just like that. Now, how do we clean this up here? What are we going to do? Now, let's go back to the fuselage bulkheads. Alright, we got our... Let's quickly just shoot the rudder into this sucker. Watch this. Well, you want to see something real cool? Watch this. Cut a notch. Notch. Get out of there. Watch this. Check this out, huh? Look at that. Boom. Gone. See you later. Ah. Oh yeah. Down and dirty, baby. Down and dirty. This is the point. This is quick. This is meatball RC airplane surgery here, guys. This is doing quick. Freehand cut. Well, we don't have to freehand cut. We can just take our container again. Stick this right over here. And just cut this sucker out right now. Hang on. Get this. Make sure your cutting surface is clear. You don't have rulers sitting around like an idiot like me. Make sure your plane's out of the way. We don't want to cut into our airplane. And we just cut the bulkhead straight up. Here we go. We're moving quick. We're moving fast. We're moving at the speed of light. We're not screwing around here. Okay. The second one. Very clean. Try and cut this as clean as you can. Very important. Ah, God, I haven't built like this in years. Jesus, this is bringing back memories, man. Ah, man. Remember, I was going out with this girl. She had a 5-year-old kid, and he wanted me to build him an RC airplane, and I built him a nice little airplane. I think it was a Twin Otter. I built him a Twin Otter in about 3 hours. A little RC Twin Otter. That was about 12, 13, 14 years ago, maybe. No, a long time ago. This is how I did it. But I think I made the fuselage out of a block of foam. I think. I forget. That was years ago. Okay, here are our bulkheads. Look at that. Wow, check that out. Look at that. They pop out. We might have to make a few more, so what? There we go. Now I'm going to show you a secret. We got lots of secrets here, but I'm going to show you a really cool secret as to how to get your bulkhead straight into your airplane. Now, it's all called notching. It's all notching. Notching, notching, notching. This is back from the days when I used to make airplanes out of cardboard. Like the great green sea ships, Barrett, but not exactly as good as he did. That guy's a cardboard master. Alright, watch this. Here's what we're going to do. What are we going to do? Okay. We're going to cut the bulkheads into halves. We're going to chop them into halves. Watch. Watch this. I'm going to mark them real quick. See how wide they are. With a ruler. They are, okay, a little under 3 inches. Where is our pen? There's our pen. Thank you very much. Boom. Boom. Okay. Yep. And we're going to cut them into sections, like pizza. Boom. And we're going to do it again. Boom, like that. Okay? See what just happened? We cut it into 4 pieces. Now, we're going to get down and dirty, and we're going to start to put this thing together. Now, how are we going to do this? We're going to start to mix epoxy together. Let's get some epoxy. There we go. Alright. Let's get some epoxy here. And pins, you need pins and you need tape. Pins and tape are great. They rock. That's what makes the world go around. Take a little bit of mixing up some epoxy and watch this. Okay, we're going to go to the lower section here. Actually, let's do the upper section. And we're brushing it on real fast. Real down and dirty, man. Real down and dirty. Just going to brush this, mix up the epoxy, 2-part epoxy. Foam Safe CA is real cool with an activator. Just throw that stuff on. Matter of fact, that's what I should be using, but I don't like the bond of Foam Safe CA because it does not give you a strong enough bond. Guys like Nefwafa use it all the time. Guys like W747 and other guys love it. They swear by it, but I do not. Don't like it. Okay. Alright, take our top section, place it down onto the piece that we just cut out, just like that. There we are, we just place that sucker down. Pins! Remember I told you about pins? Okay, get your pins. This is where your pins come in, real fast. Take your pins, pop your pins straight through the Depron, right into, well, first of all, let's make sure that everything is centered. We don't want to screw this up. At some point, you have to kind of slow down a little bit and pay attention to what you're doing. Okay. Now, I don't like this rudder bouncing around, so let's get this rudder secured. Pull that out. Stick a little epoxy on that sucker. Stick it back in, like so. There you are. Take a pin. take a pin and stick that sucker in. That's what she said. Okay. Alright. Right in there. There you go. There's your stabilizer. Okay, there's the top of the fuselage in there. Now, remember these? The bulkheads that we cut, like pizza. Cut them up. Get some more of the epoxy. We're going to mix up a little bit more. Let's get another brush. Get lots of cheap disposable brushes. And we're going to start to pop in our bulkheads. Top and bottom. Watch this. This is where things get real fun. This is where we go nuts. This is where we start to see the three-dimensional side of things start to hit. And you just pop those right in. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. How is he doing this? Are you seeing this? Is it believable? Do you believe this? It's happening right before your eyes. Look at this. Get a little bit of, there we go. Okay, here we go. Look at that. A little bit of stuff. There we go. There's some. That's in the square section now. Now, bear with me. Pay attention to what's happening here. Now. Alright. See that? Okay. Now, let's jump to the wings real fast. I want to get these wings out of the way. Quick. Alright, how are we going to do it? We go back to Mr. Dollar Store Foam. Dollar Store Foam. Right? 23-inch wingspan. What do we do? What do we do, Mr. Magoo? We cut out a 20-inch wing section. Now, mark it off. 23 inches. We have enough. 23 inches. Boom. Okay, 23 inches. What is half of 23? My brain ain't working right now. Hang on. See, sometimes I can get swamped by Mr. Calculator comes to the rescue. 23 divided by 2 equals 11.5. Alright, 11 and a half. Mark our line. 11 and a half. And that's the midsection. Mid-section of wing. Okay, 1. 11.50, 23 inches. Okay, so we know that the fuselage is, well, that wide. So we start to mark that off, right? Okay, we know that the wing is, how deep is the wing? We go back to the plane itself, and we can determine that. Go back to the airplane. The wing is that wide. That wide. There we are. Alright, go back to the source. Alright, now we know it's that wide. Let's copy the angle of the leading edge of the wing. Angle of sweep. And we do it. Here we are. There we are. Pull that out gently. Boom. There we are. We know it's rounded out. That. And there we go. Boom. Like that. Draw in your aileron. Now, what we can do is, if you build some structure into this wing, or take 2 pieces of dollar store foam, you can make your curved leading edge, and you can stick a micro servo from the Hobby King in there as your aileron. Right? Of course you can. You know you can. You knew you could all along. What the heck are you talking about? You didn't know you could? You knew you could. Stop fooling me. Alright, here we go. You knew that all along. You guys knew that. Real simple. You can do this with just elevators and aileron. You don't need a rudder necessarily. Okay, if we want to know trailing edge of the wingtip. That's the width of the wingtip. Go ahead and draw that in. Boom. Boom. Okay, engines. Where are the engines? Where are they marked? The engines are marked. Go back to that. I would say that they're about 8.5 inches apart. Let's say 8 inches. 8 inches. Mark it off on the wing. Mark it off on the wing. Draw it into the wing. Physically draw them into the wing, just to get an idea of what's going on. Okay, now we want to find out how long the engines are, how long the engine pod is. Go back, take our magic caliper. I would say they're 6 inches long, so that means from the wing to there, trailing edge of the wing to the front, 6 inches. Get our ruler, mark off 6 inches. 6 inches. Okay, there we are, 6 inches. Alright, now we have this done. Let's get our ruler. Let's start cutting this wing out of here. We're even going to cut out the engines with it, because they will be part of the three-dimensional effect. This is not going to be a profile plane. Now I'm going to show you how to do this. Cut that out. There we are. Watch your fingers. Watch your fingers. Don't want to cut your freaking fingers off. I almost did that. Working on the MD-80 like a freaking moron. Had to go to the emergency room. Have them sew part of that thumb back on. This is down and dirty now. Remember that. This is just something quick. This is a quick airplane. We're going to measure the length of that aileron, and we're going to draw it right into this one. Ailerons have to be symmetrical. Have to make sure that the ailerons are perfect, because if they're not, your plane is not going to fly right, because it's going to be lopsided. It's always going to fly in a lopsided fashion, because one control surface will be giving more inputs than the other. You can't have that. That doesn't work. So to cut this wing out. Let's get the back trailing edge out. That would help. That would help, Chris. Let's get this stupid thing out of there. Nice. Okay. Alright, come on, you sucker. Get out of there. Alright. We got the wing, man. Got a wing. Got a wing. Alright, let's cut out our control surfaces. Let's cut those out down and dirty. Here's the trick. Go ahead and cut the base. Now, of course, while you're doing this, run a piece of aluminum or carbon fiber or wood straight through your wing to give it strength. If you really want aerodynamic, if you want an airfoil, which is a smart move, you want to thicken the wing and you want to start to shape it. 2 pieces of dollar store foam, one on top of the other. Watch that. Look at that. Huh? Now, watch your hinge. How do we do a hinge? Real fast and easy. Take a piece of tape. Take a piece of tape right there, like that. Take a piece of tape. Boom. There you go. Look at that. You got a hinge. Huh? Look at that. Well, not quite a hinge, but hey, wait a minute. There you go. You just stick that in there like that. Huh? Look at that. You got a hinge. You got sort of a hinge. Well, not exactly a hinge, but a little bit messy there. Well, semi-hinge. I don't know. That's not... I've done better work than that. Ugh. There you go. You got your hinge. Right? Look at this. Look at that. You counting with me? I mean, you know, how long have we been doing this? It hasn't been too long. Look at that, man. Starting to look like something? I'm like a mad scientist with RC airplanes. Any creation I want. And I can teach you how to make any creation you want. That's the key. That's the key here. Now, as you're doing this, you're going to want to place your firewalls in. So, we're going to make three-dimensional engine pods. And we're going to fit them in too. And I'm going to show you all that. Now, let's go ahead and let's add the lower section of the fuselage to the mix to make this a whole airplane. Alright? Right. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do a little bit of magic here. We're going to make a slot for the... Yeah, and I see that, don't worry. I got that one, folks. Okay. We're going to mark off where the wing is supposed to go. Very quickly. Mark that sucker off. Alright, watch this. We're going to do a little something right here. My good friends, we're building the speed of light. We're building like a pack rat on crack. Alright, here we go. Look at that. Look what just happened. We got a notch. Oh man, look at that. Huh? Alright, let's get some more epoxy. Let's get the epoxy out. Let's break out the epoxy. Break out the epoxy. Get that stuff out of there. If you have foam safe CA, that is probably the best thing to use because it's quick, dirty, and easy. That is how you do it because let me tell you something. How do you think Mike Neff, aka Neffwaffle, can build a plane in 6 days? How do you think he can do it? This is how he does it. Come on. What are you talking about? What, are you kidding me? Come on, this is how he does it. Foam safe CA. You take your plans, you pop them on your Depron, and you just cut. You just cut them out. You cut them straight out of Depron. It's that freaking easy. It's nothing to it. Come on. Only problem is if you don't have a card model, you're kind of out of luck there if you know what I'm talking about. But, you know, if you build it this way, you don't need a card model. Come on. Get with it. Look at this. Look at this. Ooh, we forgot something. I forgot something. Uh-oh. Don't want to goof up too much here on the camera because I look bad. I'm talking about, I don't look like a freaking moron over here. Alright, look at this. Pay attention. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. Look at that. We stick the wing right in there. Stick that wing right in there. And, of course, dihedral. I know. You're already bitching about that dihedral. Where's the dihedral, Demondriver? There's no dihedral in the wing. Come on. I'm going to show you. Watch this. Look at this. Go ahead, pin the wing straight in. Put your pins in. Right? Put your pins in. Don't make me smack you. I'm going to freaking smack you if I catch you not putting your pins in. I'm going to knock you across the head. Alright, look at this. Look. Now, this is down and dirty now. This is an RC airplane in... This is quick stuff. This is fast, quick, dirty, dirty bird. This is a dirty bird here. Now I'll show you how to make structure for this airplane and do all that crazy stuff. But do you see what's happening? Do you see what's starting to happen? There we go. Now go back to your... Let's pull that up. Let's go back to the pins. Let's get some more pins. These pins are what we need right now. I would trade my entire fortune for a pin. Let's get that pin. Stick that pin in there because the pin is going to really put everything together for us. The pin is very important. The pin is mightier than the sword. Look. You see what's happening? Now, inexpensive, cheap, little brushless motors will power this sucker. That's all we're going to need. Cheap, inexpensive stuff. This is cheap. guys. This is a cheap, in-your-face RC airplane, done cheap, done easy, in your face, no complication. Now, as we do this, what we want to do is we want to start to add the dihedral into the wing. Let me show you how to do that. You take your razor and you cut very carefully now. You don't want to cut your hand. Cut that right there along the fuselage line. And just bend it up. Like so. Bend that sucker up. And we're going to put, you know, when we brace the wing, we're going to add that stuff in there to make it work. To give it structure. You're going to put some wood in there. You're going to put some stuff in there. You're going to make it work. You're going to make it work. Look at that. You get in there. See? There's your dihedral into your wing. Right? There's your dihedral right there. Now, of course, the fuselage is bouncing around because it's not set yet because we didn't put enough pins in. Keep putting your pins into there. Boom. There's your pin. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to stick block foam underneath the fuselage there. But let me show you something. Let me show you something. Now, very quickly, we're going to make some structure down and dirty. Real quick. Let's get some thin Depron. Fuselage works with thin Depron. 2 millimeter or thinner. You can go to 1 millimeter. You can even go to lightweight cardboard if you can find it. Now, let's make a fuselage section. How do we do it? Watch. Take your caliper. Make a measurement of that section. You know what? The hell with it. Let's do the whole tubular section of the fuselage right now. Let's do it. There to there. Yeah. Okay, I got that. 8.5 inches. Watch. Now, first thing we want to do, we want to measure how, you know, far the circumference of the upper part of the fuselage. Cut a piece of Depron out. That's going to be our measure. Measure around. Bend it around. Now, first of all, bend the Depron around. Make sure it doesn't pop on you. Depron has a tendency to pop. There we go. There's your circumference. That's how, take a pen, mark your circumference of your fuselage. Now, 8.5 inches. Let's set Mr. Gulfstream over here. And here we go. Mr. Gulfstream. Jetstream. Sorry. It's getting late. I'm tired. 8.5 inches. That is our... Okay. Was it that side? It's this side. Okay. I'll mark it there. Mark it there. Okay. This is how far we want it. This is the upper curvature of the fuselage. Okay. We're going to cut the sucker out right now. When? Right now. Here we go. Excuse me. There we go. Get our metal ruler. Metallic ruler. Get that out. Cut that. And we cut that way. We cut this that way. And what do? Now, one of the easiest things you can do is we want to bend the Depron, right? Take a container or something round. Curve the Depron around the container. Alright, curve it. A cup. Like this. A cup. It's fine. Curve it around it. Just like that. Let's get out some more of the bulkheads. Let's make a few more bulkheads. Alright. Okay. Very quickly. Moving quickly, gotta keep moving. Ask to use a fresh thing of epoxy. I don't want to use my good epoxy. But gotta show you. Gotta show you. How do you learn? We share ideas, share knowledge. That's how stuff happens, man. You don't want to hoard knowledge. That doesn't work. Okay. Let's place the epoxy straight onto fuselage, the bulkheads. Pop them into place. Now look. You see everything bouncing around, moving around. Well, I'm going to show you how to straighten that out. Okay? I'll show you how to straighten it all out. What you're going to do is you're going to use carbon fiber or plywood or balsa wood to strengthen all of those sections that are jumping around. You're going to run strengthening, stiffening rods all throughout your plane. You see what I'm doing? I'm adding the bulkheads right now. Adding the bulkheads to the fire. Adding them to the recipe. You want to get this right. Put your pins in. This is down and dirty now, guys. This is not pretty. Now, I'm not saying carb models aren't pretty. If you do them right, they come out looking like W747s or Ollie's, aka Airbus, the F-Wappas, and they come out looking real sharp. Not too durable, but sharp. And that's why, and the other reason I build my planes this way is because I can mold them. Card models are basically virtually impossible to mold because they're so flimsy that when you try and tear them out of the mold, they fall apart on you. Give it a shot and you'll see what I mean. Okay, here's that fuselage section, right? Okay, here's the trick. Watch this. Oh my God. All right, get some epoxy that's ready to rock first. Watch this. This is the key here. This is something. This is going to be cool when you see this. When you see me do this, man, you're going to freak. You're going to freak. Okay. We're going to run this down the fuselage. Do you see what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing? Look at this. Do you see this? Brush it onto the fuselage. Brush it onto the bulkheads. Brush the epoxy straight onto the bulkheads. Very important. Very important because this is what is going to keep the Depron curved around the fuselage. If you don't do this, it's going to pop back up again because it's going to want to pop up. That's what Depron does when it's under tension. It wants to pop back into its straight form because Depron, you know, it doesn't like to be straight. I mean, it doesn't like to be curved, excuse me. It wants to bounce back up. So, what do? Pop our Depron down on top of the fuselage, right? Now, take tape. Take out your tape, stick it right on here, and take a little bit of tape, stick it on here, like so. Take a little bit of tape, stick it on there, like so. Take a little bit of tape, stick it on there. Now when you take, here's the trick. Take your tape, lip it, fold it over so you have a little hand, you know, so you can pull it up. Now, what do we start to do? We take the tape and we bend it over, like so. And we just tuck it underneath the piece. Now, of course, if it doesn't completely go around and wrap around like it's not doing here, that's okay, because you can come in with a longer piece of Depron and come up from the bottom and make sure that it cinches around completely. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't. It's okay. You know, sometimes it won't. We're doing this down and dirty. This is a Demondriver bird right here. I haven't done one of these in ages. It's been a long time, man. And sometimes these things just don't always go exactly as planned. But you're starting to kind of see, well, that didn't work. You see what I'm trying to do. We gotta move quick before the epoxy sets. We want to move fast. There we go. Alright, so some of it is sticking. And with the nose sections and everything, an easy thing to do, the easiest thing to do, really, to be honest with you, and I'm not going to do it now because it's going to make a freaking mess, and I don't want to do that right now because I've got other planes I'm building. But, do you see what's happening? The Depron wraps around, and that's how you make your fuselage. Now, for now, I don't want these wings flopping around, but what you do is you take your Depron, you cut a groove, you lay a... Hey, so basically this is our little Jetstream, our little British Aerospace Jetstream. This is what we did in an hour. 1 hour. This is what you can do in an hour. Just do what I did. Just have about a gallon of coffee, boom. Now, 1 more hour to finish it. This is what you would do. I'm going to go to bed, but I got to go to sleep. I got to sleep sometime. Basically, this is what you would do. Get some carbon fiber. Stick a piece on your engine boom, on your engine pod, from where you want the firewall to be back into the wing. Okay? Carbon fiber, carbon fiber. Next, get a block piece of foam, little block piece of foam, sand it and shape it to make your engine cowl pod. Stick it onto the wing, top, bottom. Once you've done that, take a piece of plywood, balsa, plywood, whatever, cut a square. That's your firewall for your little brushless or brushed motor. Stick it on. Epoxy it on, run your wires through. 1 7-volt, 7.4 volt poly lipo will run this plane for both motors. Right? 1 piece of carbon fiber into the wing, another piece of carbon fiber into the wing, shape your wing, shape the leading edge. If you want to get real fancy, shape the trailing edge, cut out your ailerons, stick your little I think 5 gram micro servos into your ailerons, 1 back into the tail for your elevator, for your rudder. Stick a piece of carbon fiber back from the midsection of the fuselage back into the rudder to strengthen, to stop that. Then take wedge pieces of solid foam, okay? Cut it like you were cutting an apple. Stick it into the front sections so that you can, you know, have a curved 3-dimensional fuselage, the same that you did with the engine pods. Stick them in there, sand them, stick them in the tail, wedge pieces of foam to shape and have a rounded fuselage. Then take a little bit of fiberglass cloth, stick it right at the dihedral point of the wing, top and bottom, let it sit, and that'll match your dihedral perfectly. Take some little metal wires and little foam wheels. You can cut round wheels out of foam, whatever. Stick them on there, you got your fixed landing gear. Very small motors, brushed or brushless motors, with maybe like 4-inch props. I'm talking $20 or $30. You have a little down and dirty RC Airliner. Something you can make for your kids, something you can make for yourself. You can fly around the backyard. 2 hours, 3 tops. Okay, I'm rusty at I haven't built an RC plane like this in years. I'm rusty at doing it this way. But if I did 3 or 4 of these a day, so this will never be one of those. This is never going to be a W747 card model or an F-Waffle card model, no. But if you work carefully and you take your time and you follow what I've done and you put your block foam in, you do some sanding, you do some finishing work, you can have yourself some really interesting little RC planes relatively quickly. And you know, the cool thing is it looks like a Gulfstream. I mean a Jetstream. I don't know why I keep saying Gulfstream. I'm going to smack myself in the head. God. Well, 6 in the morning, so I'm ready to fall asleep here. But that's a RC Airliner in a couple of hours from Demondriver. So get building. Build one of these. Build a card model. Build this. Build a balsa model. It doesn't matter. Just get building. Find some time. Find some inspiration. Find a plane. Get building. No excuses not to build. Alright, this is Demondriver. I'm here for you guys. If you got questions, I have some answers. That's what this hobby is about. It's about sharing ideas, talking to each other, and making your RC dreams become reality. Get building. If you don't build it, you ain't going to fly it. Demondriver, I'm out of here. God bless. Take care.